All right. Good afternoon. Oh, nope. We still in the morning. Good morning. And welcome to Mo Knows featuring who? Monica Mo Justice. All right. Good afternoon. Oh, nope. We still in the morning. All right. Good morning. None of y'all could tell me that the stream sounds bad because I done heard it for myself. I think I do have this on public. So I have to come in and make some modifications as we're talking. So I'm getting jiggy with it because I ain't been here for a minute with it. You see that name? She still reigns supreme. I hate her right now. Hit the like or take a hike. I hate her right now. You sound so good, girl. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Let's get some of these settings adjusted to the way I like things to be done. Hold up a second. Let me see something. Oh no, that wasn't the echo. That was the playback. I was playing the thing back. Um mm, What's up, KK? Girl, how you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2024. Knocking on your door. 8 weeks in. Let's talk some Shinyan. All right, let me see. No, I need subscribers to be more than like. I'm gonna turn it into a members only chat. But I got a few people that might want to drop in that are not members that I may feel compelled. Here go Karen. Karen gonna have a heart attack. She's like, don't be talking about what I'm gonna feel like today. Leave me alone. Schedule. Let YouTube insert. I'm letting YouTube do it. I'm running this through YouTube. Okay, let's see. But I don't know how to change that. It's only one more thing I want to edit, and that's that thing right there. Yeah, I didn't preset this up. Mm. What is that? Oh, that's so interesting. I'm trying to look for a thumbnail around here. Let me see if I have any old thumbnails. Because these are old topics coming to light again. But they're really not coming to light for me. They're coming to light for other people. Or they continue to be part of other people's narratives. Okay. Damn it. You know I'm waiting for one more person so I could start my stuff. You know, I only have 9 people in the room. I need to have my lucky number 9 so I could move on and move on. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Hit the like while y'all coming up in here. Cause y'all know who the 9 of you are anyway. Why we gotta all pretend? Okay, I have another I have another upload, which really deals with the incident that occurred on December 31st, 2023, wherein a content creator made a choice to reach out to my children's father and have a conversation with him on the phone, and a recorded conversation with him on the phone. And then brought the conversation that she initiated to her platform for content. I chose not to speak on the activity because I, in my humble opinion, felt that my children's father did a great job at expressing himself on that call. Not familiar with the platform and how people get down here and feel that they are justified to do things like that. He basically asked her questions. You can tell in the interview she became very frustrated and started to raise her voice, interject, and all, right? When you're doing like something under the guise of you being a investigative reporter, an investigative reporter wouldn't be taking it so personal. Now, I have indicated that he was trying to reach out to me during the call. I was busy, point blank. When I did get a moment to see his messages, we did connect and he shared it with me. I did a three-way call with somebody else to try to make sense out of this, because initially, having been bought with the name, I thought somebody was trolling that person for trouble. So that's how I dismissed it on that day, until the person put the recording on her own channel. I didn't even believe that she was capable of such low value stuff. So even I, once upon a crime, thought much, much more highly of that person's activities. So even I was taken for a blow, because I really thought that people were above that type of level. Like so I give people the benefit of the doubt. So initially when this all took place, I was like, oh, that person, someone's trolling in her account doing that. I took the same deference recently when a man told the world he saw me on the subway. So I keep giving people more credit than they deserve for their behavior. Hey, hey, M. Shantae. This was, you know, it is what it is. You come to an understanding that no matter how much you want to believe that people have some kind of class about themselves, you get drawn back into the reality of we're on this free app with people who are criminalized. They just engage in acts, unlawful acts, and they do it for clicks and views, period. End of story. There's no getting around it. There's no trying to make something else out of it. Anything that can generate somebody getting a click and a view is all that is their outreach. It's their intent. Now, for those people that wanted to come back and give a response and say that this was a cause and effect moment, cause you did this is the effect that it had on someone. Explain the causes, break them down, pinpoint them. That would lead you to go snooping in somebody else's telephone directory to find somebody's phone number that I myself don't have to reach out to somebody on. The man said that to me. He said, they reached me on a number you don't even have. Interesting. Let me just talk about the positives of that call while we are on it. He demonstrated what you should see from parents who, in the best of terms, co-parented. And that's the best of terms. You don't hear hostility in his voice, in his responses. He wasn't disrespectful towards me. He didn't give anybody anything to really run on if their case was to prove something against me. So what did they try to do? They came out here and shared what they did, exposed themselves, in addition to try to paint a negative picture about that man, somebody not on the internet, somebody that they chose to harass. See, the interesting thing here is he is not on the internet at all. And someone from this internet contacted him. That's aggravated harassment. He don't got nothing to do with this. Nothing whatsoever. What's up, Boogie? You ain't seen me contact ever anybody's family members. And this is how this conversation began, because LTG put out an allegation that Monica Mo Justice contacted her former husband number 4. And I threw that back at someone and said, yo, that's not the type of behavior I engage in. You might want to look at these people over there. And guess what those people did? They came outside and decided to call my children's father, only to further collab. I want to use small words with y'all today to further evidence that they're capable of doing just what I said that they may have done in that instance. Instead, they did it to me to show me that they were capable of doing it, to confirm my statements. Two years. They claim for 2 years, Monica Mo Justice has been speaking on her. The question is, in what capacity? Where? So, for the last 8 weeks, Karen and myself, we've been looking through videos of our own to see where is that possible. Because, see, someone just doesn't launch an attack, right? This is me again thinking about what reasonable people would do. Mind you, I've already proven myself wrong because I didn't think she had the capacity to go and even contact my children's father. I thought of her in a much higher light, which can't dim my light, quickly dimmed. Quickly dimmed. But I went through videos to see what could have been said, what would have been said. And what I've come to find in the grouping is the same thing that's always been said. The facts. The fact. You cannot change a storyline, right? You cannot change a timeline to meet somebody else's needs or to deal with somebody else's wherever their mens rea is, what they're thinking in their mind. I can't make this make sense to folks. If I spoke on something that occurred during the December of 2021, it's occurred. The facts don't change just because you don't want somebody to speak on something. The facts do not change. And I've said it a zillion times here. Get ready for it. If you don't like the way your character is depicted in my storyline, change the way your character acts. And then maybe I'll change how I feel about your character. But when it comes down to the fact, I can't change those facts. I cannot manipulate the story to go any differently. So if for 2 years, every time Christmas comes around, you hear about people using another person to get bare necessities, that's how I take it. That is my narrative to the fact. And it's not going to change in 2024. It's not going to change in 2025 because that took place in 2021. Was it 2021 that took place? 22, 23. Yeah, it took place in 2021. You can't go back from that. When I speak on friendships and I say to a collective body that if I paid for something, and everyone has the right to their own opinion. If I paid for something and then I'm involved in the activity and I don't like the way the activity guess what? I just don't participate in it. Period. If I saw something happening around me and I don't care how much I paid for it, if I can't be refunded, there's a time when you would stand on principle. And for me, I saw a lot of people in that during that period of time who didn't stand on principle. And I was led to believe that there were a lot of people protesting a situation. But when it came time to act on what was going on, everyone acquiesced because they wanted to belong to the bigger picture. So if for 2 years that bothers anyone involved in that wasn't able to stand as an independent and walk away because you stood for something and you stayed and you played, own it. Own that. I stayed because I put my money in there and it wasn't a big enough cause for me to step back. But guess what? I ain't there no more. I'm not participating any further. So although I may not have acted immediately, you know it. Sometimes when you point out to people that simple connections, right? Cause and effect, right? Cause that happened. The effect is even though people stayed and played, they ain't playing no more. So when Joanna recently was on a platform and somebody suggested, maybe it was Joanna who suggested, we go back in the days when we used to play games and stuff. Sometimes you can't go back. None of us can go back to being 2 years old, even though many of y'all act like y'all 4 years old. It's counterproductive. There's a reason you became an adult chronologically. It's so that you use those past juvenile experiences to help you grow and mature into your adulthood. This is how your experiences guide your presence. But many of you people don't understand that because you live in childhood. You're looking for some adult to come along and guide you in the right direction. You keep forgetting that you are the adult. Just because you can suck and do, gotta watch the language around here. But you know, y'all sucking and effing. Just because y'all can do that activity as an adult doesn't mean that you actually have the maturity of an adult. You guys act simply immature. You can't navigate adult situations here without being prompted by somebody else to tell you how you should accept or not accept something. That is crazy. Who are you? I chose not to participate in that line anymore. I removed myself. I knew I was coming into my season 7 not going to do the same things that happened in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and for a limited time in 23, because I moved myself from a lot of stuff starting in 23. So to have somebody end the old year and come into the new year, starting the activity with calling my children's father, just told me that although I stepped myself back a while ago, they were willing to push me into something in the present. Okay. So because of the Joanna situation, I was made privy of some conversations that were going on. And I went to go listen because I wanted more understanding for myself because I really didn't understand this other than maybe Joanna might be in a new community and these people are numbers busters and they just want to get into some new community to garner some new audience. Can't hold people back from wanting to do that. So here we go. Joanna gets into some stuff. I receive a link. I listen, just listening. And out of nowhere, there comes some message directed at Monica Mo Justice. It wasn't subliminal, it was just sitting there. And I said, let me get out of here because I ain't got time for these people and their nonsense. I didn't even realize that I was still interconnected with some stuff. Now, yes, I came out here and put a community post up to differentiate between retard and somebody with Down syndrome, which are terminologies used in the mental health. Some would deem them classifications, but nevertheless, the two terms. And I put up a community post to ask the question. And I just hear somebody so upset. If you tell a person that they called your loved one retarded, and then you put up evidence that said they said Down syndrome, then the question becomes, who called your loved one retarded? And the answer is you, because you heard Down syndrome. And when you think of Down syndrome, you think of retarded. You can't blame somebody else because you have your own bias against something and you self said that. So now the question is, Just on the question of, did the person say that your child was retarded? Or did the person say something else and you interpret it as such? You would have people inflamed and upset thinking somebody said something when it's just your interpretation. It's your own personal bias. And the reason why I'm going to stick to the Down syndrome and the reason why I made that post in the way that I made it wasn't as much for Joanna. It was as much for the fact that Anita came out here and wanted me to believe that Karen spoke to her on the phone and said that my son had Down syndrome, aka retarded, aka how this woman went to speak to my son's father to ask him questions about my son's diagnoses, all from a biased perspective. Now, Karen might have some evidence of the same person disrespecting Karen's kid. After that same person will come out here and tell you, I don't never speak bad about people's kids. I don't have nothing to say about nobody's kid. But then you hear her just cussing and going all in on somebody else's child. So the clarification here was small. What did the person actually say, and how did you interpret it? And then what do you convey back to the people for their support? It didn't line up. That's what my community post was about. I already know that there's a bias, right? And normally mothers who have, we all want the perfect child. Many people say to you, hey, what are you looking for? Like when you're pregnant, right? They ask you what are you hoping to get, right? Most mothers, fathers, they're just like a healthy baby. They don't care if it's a boy or girl, because what's more important at that time is just that we have a healthy baby. There are some people that when anything is a little bit not normal, they can't accept those challenges. They're not here for it. They don't have the patience to deal with it. Shucks. For those of us who are parents of children with special needs, we pride ourselves in raising our children 100% on our own, not somebody taking them away from us and caring for them in our absence because we have our own bias towards our own child. You don't see that going on. There's a lot of things on this internet that people share about other people's lives to other people when stuff hits the fan. They begin to tell people about who you are or who they perceive you to be. Crazy. It's just crazy. Anyway, I said what I had to say. I heard what I heard, and I've left it like that. Recently, this guy in Russia, uh, activist, fighting for what he believes in, uh, passed away while in custody. Now, there's no misunderstanding here that when and you may remember from the basketball player, when these people serve time in Russia, it's hard time. It's in something called, so in the United States we call them prisons. These things are called colonies. They're out there working like on a chain gang type scenario. Similarities, if we could even make a similarity. So when I was sitting in the hair salon one Saturday, and it was blasted all over the television that this man is deceased. And I was listening and I was angry. Because, see, him stood for something. But all right, so um, when I listened, when damn it, when I saw the man, when I saw the man pass away, I'm just back on my same mission. Folks around, folks on this free app, to be more specific, have the time, or at least they believe they have unlimited time just to be arguing, fussing, and fighting with people. I don't believe I got that type of time. And that's the point where I'm at. I don't have that type of energy, period. I don't have that type of energy. So if y'all want to sit around on panels all night long and talk about me and bring me up and whatever, that's on y'all, period. I'm not going to co partner with you and go back and forth with you because I don't have the energy for it. Period. I'd win because you can't really fuck with Momo. I mean, that's a fact of life, right? But it's finding the dedicated time to do that back and forth. Somebody has to be like, I don't want to participate. So I don't want to participate. And that's the end of it. And that's how I see things. You're on your own with this one. There are some people who I had a disagreement with many years ago, who I had a meeting of the minds conversation on the telephone with, that I was under the understanding that the things that predated that conversation were left right there. I saw people try to revitalize that argument. And I think that initially they were unable to scratch the surface, but they may have seeped in. I don't got time for it. I don't got time to relitigate the past for something that had nothing to do with anybody that was involved. People were collateral damage, just put up in there, spread in there. I don't got time for that. I didn't have time for it. So I'm not about to participate in that. The other people and their situation, um, I spoke on what I spoke on, and like I said, I can't change the fact. And I don't plan on changing the fact. And that's just it. But what I do know, all the years I've been up here as Monica, as Mo Momo, or as Monica Mo Justice, I have never reached out to anybody's loved one and spoke to anybody's loved one, recorded anybody's loved one, and came back and made any content about anybody's loved ones. So I don't even see where that is warranted. I don't even see where that's in the cause to be put up here. I don't see I don't see the cause and effect based as it is stated now. I just see it as plain old harassment, plain old bullying on this platform. Period. If you wanted to box with me and you just wanted to have a dispute with me straight up, and it was about something that was directed at me, my thought process, and how I come to a conclusion on something, a topic at hand, I'm here for that. But if you want to get personal, I'm not here for that, because we're not on a personal basis. I'm not trying to be friends with any of you folks. I'm not asking any of you folks to feed me. I'm not hungry. I've never been hungry on here that I needed to ask people behind the scenes, ministries or other kind of entities to feed me. Feed me, Seymour. I've never done that. I don't even know what that feels like. I don't know what that desperation is, to let people make a fool out of me in the guise that I was hungry. I don't know what that looks like. I really don't. And I don't want to share in that pain. I don't want to give people the justification to talk down to me. Begging on this free app to me really promotes the opportunity for people to come back and really dig at you hard. I'm not into that. I go through everything through my life with the eyes of this too shall pass, and I am going to be better for the experience. I've learned a lot of things on this app. I learned a lot about perseverance. relationships, and I don't plan on continuing the way things were. And it does not have to be the way things are. It's just the way things were. I don't got time to do that for you guys. I really don't have the time to do that. So, what's going on now? Mo is in member only mode, and that's where you will see me. I think it's the most guarded community that you could have at this point in time. And true to form, as Karen has her members only mode, and she said, "This is exactly what I'm gonna do on the members only. I am only gonna discuss the do my giveaway, what I'm giving back to my members. That's all I'm gonna do there." So in my members only, I'm doing the same thing. I'm talking about the things that I came up here to talk about and do the things that I came up here to do. And I feel like anybody who wants to see me do that will be part of the membership. And that's why it's affordable enough so that we can achieve that. And the lowest membership is the $2.99. And unfortunately, I'm gonna stick to that because that's the lowest I think you could, that's the lowest I'm willing to go to achieve that discussion. Before, people will remember that I used to be with the influencers type set scenario, doing the exact same thing, sending out a link to a prescribed group of people who said they wanted to partner with me and do the conversations and the content that we wanted to do outside of what was going on the platform as a whole. I'm going to continue in that direction. And I'm doing it under the members, under the cast of members only. Um, and that's it. Everything's not for everybody. A lot of things are going on in the in courtrooms. I'm currently watching a trial of a woman who has been charged with assisting her boyfriend, a co-conspirator. Um, it's a conspiracy trial about the death or the presumed death of his wife, his ex-wife, because her body has never been found. But the husband himself uh committed uh he took himself out of the equation. He's no longer with us. So I'm watching that, um, which is based out of Connecticut. So we're talking about money. Some people, it's an interesting trial. The judge is very interesting, and watching how the judge acts, and it's also looking at the mind. Like sometimes when I look at people of color and I see how they engage and I see their intellect on stage, I'm amazed at it. I'm amazed at it. People from back in the day, our intellect was far more uh powerful than what you see people today with intellect doing. Like those are really masterminds. So I'm enjoying watching that trial. Um the YSL trial is going. This dude, the Nature Boy trial is gonna start this week, so I'm definitely in tune to that one. Um what else is going on? Um that's where I'm at. Oh, and there's I spoke on this trial with this DA down in Atlanta. Um, very interesting. I saw Candace Owens' take on it. She called her like the ghetto prosecutor, and I'm like, we're talking like Atlanta to me, when I think of Atlanta, I think of who from New York ate in Atlanta. That's how I see those things. Hey, Cynthia. That's how I see these things. Who from thing is not there. So that's the direction of my channel. There's no reason to be calling me behind the scenes, anybody that has my number, to ask me what I'm doing and if anything's going on in the membership that they should be worried about or concerned with or whatever, join the membership. But I can assure you that I definitely have moved on. I told y'all in 2023, if the feelings don't stay there, then why I still lay there? I've moved on. And I suggest some people do the same because it'll be in y'all best interest. And I don't think I have to say anything else about it being in folks' best interest. You could take that however you want to take it. Um, if you want to peruse my community wall and feel like comments are directed at you from time to time, I can't stop you from letting your imagination run wild with you. Go right ahead. Um, I think that's about it. I dropped the link just in case anybody had anything to say to me. Um, and that's about it. I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Questions, comments, concerns out of the chat. Karen, sometimes I read your comments and they are an advocate. I don't know if I'm gonna be using what's that app? I don't know which app I'm gonna be using. I gotta figure this out. I did change around my studio something something, but it's not ready for the big reveal yet. Because I still have to think about. I still got things to think about when dealing with you folk and y'all insecurities. And I definitely have other thoughts on other people too. I think I missed out the part with identity, the whole identity tampering that's going on around here, which is a form of harassment. I think people don't understand the baseline definition of harassment. So it's defined as words, gestures, or actions which tend to annoy, alarm, or abuse another person. It's that simple. It's not no drawn out case of anything. And harassment is subjective. It's how you made a person feel that stands out most. Because one of the things is that one of the things that's important about harassment is that sometimes harassment can be done in two ways. It can be done intentionally or it could just be unconsciously done. Could have been someone, because you could be found guilty of harassment, but it wasn't your intent to harass the person. But your actions resulted in the person feeling harassed. Um, that's about it. There's been allegations on this internet that relates to people's identities being tampered with around here. People getting credit, and trying to not getting because they didn't get the credit. People attempting to open accounts in other person's name. That's an identity. That's an identity theft at best. So there's been some happenings going on around here. You folks have spent all of 6 years gathering dossiers on people, sending them through the internet to one another. I mean, the whole incident with sending UP the information on JJ outlined how serious this was for some of you folks that you got in another arena and just thought it was appropriate to engage in that same behavior over there, sending out a dossier on someone. Here's the person. Here's the person's rank, serial number, everything that you could think about that person. You've passed it on to somebody else for them to review, analyze, and take the argument forward. Why? If somebody means nothing to you, why would you spend that amount of energy making something out of it? Weird. It doesn't make sense. And of course, no one knows who this person is that engaged in that until somebody pops out with an attitude and says, "You been accusing me of doing something." And then you have to be like, "But we put no name on it. Why you out here talking about this? We didn't know who did it. We just said this is what happened. Why are you claiming it?" "Oh, you was talking about me." No, we know that you guys are listening, and because you're engaging in certain behaviors, when you hear somebody talking about it, you think you've been caught. You think you've been busted. If it didn't apply to you, you wouldn't be so upset. And if you was upset, I'm trying to think of a scenario where you could hear that stuff and feel consciously like I'm compelled to make sure it's not pointing at me, that is not directed at me. The way I see it, if a person wasn't willing enough to put your name to it, that means they wasn't willing to really call you out for it. Now, it's been brought to my attention that people have been hanging out in the wee hours of the night, just talking mad stuff about me. And they finally put my name to it. Did you get that off your chest now? Does it make you feel better? I'm going to remind people this is my first video stream. This is my first video stream in 2024. So we are 18 days past in this month and 31 days in last month. So it means that I haven't been out here speaking on anybody, saying anything on platforms or anything of that nature. So where was all of these conversations supposed to be had at? 49 days, 49 nights. Now ask yourself, out of those 49 nights, how many evenings or wee hours of the morning have you heard somebody telling you something about me? Let me see. Let me go through my community wall because I've heard other people go through my community wall. So let me go through my community wall. Because I want to tell you what they went through on my community wall for themselves. Nobody cares what you're doing. No one cares what you're doing. Oh, them some beautiful nails I got there. Oh, I thought to do something about that. But those some beautiful nails coming out of there. All right. Someday this weekend I went to Red Lobsters and I had the shrimp scampi. I had the double shrimp scampi, broccoli, and a lemonade. I posted about this woman right here. Remember the lady that thought she was African American working for the NAACP? I posted about her. Um, she's unemployed again. Those are things I want to talk about. I posted about a dude who's in New York revitalizing the boxer experience, professional boxers, right? And he's an up and coming professional boxer, New York City born boxer, phenom. He's considered a phenom, looks to inspire next generation of fighters. um I love me some her. Oh, and let me just be clear because I already know Cynthia's in the chat asking me to leave the video up. I don't think I have any intentions of taking the video down. But I do know what that results in, Cynthia, is that people around here will go take my video and they will play it in their world for commentary and content. Um, because that's what they do. Then they'll try to strike you later on for something after they done played your video. I don't play anybody's videos up here. I just speak from my own experiences and from my own knowledge standpoint. But they do it anyway. Um, Even though the copyright is yours, they play this copyright war game. I don't got time for it. That's why it's not, and I'm going to say what's in my best interest. It's not in my best interest to make content that surrounds activities that they engage in. And I would say the same for most people. If you put content on your platform that is seemingly directed at the behaviors of these folks here. You're only putting yourself in a situation where it's failure. You're putting yourself in a situation, it's just entrapment. You're just putting yourself in a bad situation. This is 7 years later. It took me 7 years later to understand that if they believe that they are your content, then you will never get rid of them because they'll be lingering around waiting to be part of the show. Wake up. Many of you who practice an aggravated harassment on this free app, your days are limited. So that post was specific to New York City joins the lawsuit against. And you know what? Let me come over here. Hold up, because I forget. Okay, so this video thumbnail is minimized. All right, so I think that you guys can see this. Hold up, let me go look and see what you're seeing. All right, we got somewhat of a delay. But as you can see, it says wake up. Many of you practice an aggravated harassment on this free app. Your days are limited. And this is really going into New York City joins a lawsuit against mental health. So they joined in on a lawsuit against Meta, TikTok, YouTube, and Snapchat about uh mental health. Specifically, they targeted the filming of subway surfing videos. And if you don't know what that is, in New York, there's a subway system, the one that, the Nar father utilizes. Uh, that hosts a series of underground trains called the subway. And these young people, throughout the years of young people riding the subways after school or to school, but mostly in the after school activity, when they get together with their peers, they go surfing the subway, riding on the top of it, the back of it, or whatever, and they have either fallen to the track, or something has happened that has become serious. They're seriously injured by their activity. And what ended up happening is that this has been going on for years, but because of the TikToks and the video streaming of it, they feel as if that activity is getting more notoriety and more people are engaging in it. But this dude, Eric Adams, he might have been riding on the back of a subway car himself and surfing in his day. This is mostly typical of areas wherein, hey, LMNOP, areas where mass transit or the train is your number one mode of transportation, trains that go outside upstairs. So that would be like the A line, the J lines, it's an activity that they believe is getting out of control, and they're attributing it to the social media accounts. I'm sure that I'm sure this is something I want to look into a little bit further. Stalkers. How many of us got one? I put this up because this would have been a beautiful conversation for me to have regarding the charges that were dropped against Taylor Swift's stalker, and talk about how he was let go, uh recharged, and put in a mental health facility, etc., etc. This would have been a beautiful discussion to have with people about the criminal justice system and mental health, the balance of it, stalking. A lot of conversations could be pulled from a topic of this nature. I went. This was about a week ago. I went to my favorite place. Shout out to Longhorn as being the number one steakhouse in the world. Not that where y'all went? Joy, where'd you go at? What was the name of that place? I can't even think of the name of the place. Wherever they was at. Anyway, that was my dessert. Here I was over here. I shared Karen out. You see my wall? It's about me. I shared Joy out because I just was about to say something, but I'm just going to leave that alone right now. Here's that term I was talking to, I was speaking on. There was 32 votes. No, intellectually disabled is different from Down syndrome. And if you was really just answering the question, you would have to come to that conclusion, right? But I gave one better for those who just wanted to be stubborn. Yes, I consider them to be the same thing, although I can read. Because that's what basically happened to this person. She considered Down syndrome to be retarded. And that's how she conveyed the message to the people. So again, it just showed her bias, in my opinion. Look at this. 70 NYCHA employees arrested. So this is not throwing dabs at anybody on the internet. This is me on my community wall sharing with my community the things that are of interest to me. Okay. This right here was my lengthy response to this guy. And again, I shared a portion because I have the rest of the video, but I just shared a portion of the video from back in the day. Just it's a snippet. There's more to it that's more damaging, but I don't really see this as being that critical. So now look at those nails. I chopped them all down. That was a big chop. And then if you look at them today, they haven't grown that much, but this is the fresh set. Crazy. I'm going through all my community posts for this year. I went and I got a Stanley Cup. And I think this is what I heard them saying. So see the chop. So you can see the chop compared to that thing. I just got my Stanley Cup. A new purchase 3 weeks ago. Well, I'll be John Brown at Karen's perspective. I be feeling the same way. Damn, here we go again. Now I'm not bothering nobody, and yet my name still keep coming up. 4 weeks ago, to redact the document means edit it, especially in order to obscure or remove sensitive information. So I just went in because some narrative was being generated about Karen's letter not being authenticated. Um, when I feel like her letter was authenticated and she redacted some information. And so I spoke to that. I didn't need to strike up a vibe about that. Will the real owner of the 1989 Plymouth Acclaim please stand up? That's a direct response to BS around here. And I was just standing in support of Team KK. Oh, and if y'all don't know, KK is my best friend. She my best friend. I got a friend. I made a friend on the internet. I got a cousin. I got a good, I got a good friend, you know, and I got a best friend. KK is my new best friend. I just saying, I just want y'all to understand it. And I wanted y'all to know what a 1989 Plymouth Acclaim looked like, because I had no idea what that car even looked. Who drives one of these? Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was gonna come out and do a whole guess who that could be thing. I really was. I was gonna come out and do a whole guess who that could be. I'm like, who do you think drives this? Now, one person stands out to me. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. I was gonna say Eric Brown, but I didn't know. So I didn't know what that. I really didn't know what the big deal was about a 1989 Plymouth Acclaim was anyway. But I couldn't think of which YouTubers on here that we know is driving one of them. But I don't even think he got one of those cars. They still drive them down here in the South. Oh, they do? Well, I ain't know who the hell was driving one of those. You my best friend. You my best friend. So anyway, so in 2024, folks who clearly have moved on with their lives find themselves responding to BS. Then the script is somehow flipped. I wonder who moved their video. All right. So whoever that was didn't want their thing to be up there no more. I'm not removing it. Normally I remove it when it looks like this, but I gotta remind myself who I put up there. Moving on, hanging over my gate. Thought that was funny. So when I shared this video, I just quoted what was something that was said in it specifically. Hanging over my gate. Now I know KK came out and she came out swinging because of some stuff that happened to her with the credit. And I also know that KK has been, I want to say, like, she's just been observing me being quiet on some stuff. And I know that people say that couldn't be me. And I get it. And I think I've explained why I choose not to engage any further on here. It's because at some point the shit has to stop. And you can't allow something to grow a new spore out of an old mold. And that's about where I'm at. It's an old mold that's dead and stinking, and I'm not allowing a new spore to pop out of it. 2024 is not for Oprah, or is it? Oh, so this is interesting because this was some videos, some shorts with Taraji and Oprah and some things that was going on around that storyline. So I could remove that. Oh, oh. Now this one right here, I'm a her bad mamma jamma. They ain't playing. Move in silence. That's a month ago. Just got eyeballs out. Oh, and this is the start of the new year. Hey, Miss Indy, the start of the new year. When I said, shout out to my children's father, it's a damn shame that every holiday, miserable individuals and their bed partners engage in aggravated harassment for the benefit of maybe a clique or at best a view. And that I was absolutely unbothered because I was busy and nobody was going to make me be unbusy. Hey, Miss Indy, if I didn't say hello to you. Anyway, then I played the song. Oh, my baby daddy. And I thought, that's just my baby daddy. And I thought that was the best way to convey how I felt about his conversation. That was just my baby daddy. And I think he handled himself in our situation as appropriate as he could. Y'all be caring about being judged by the most regular, lame ass humans on earth. And I don't think that that was an understatement. I think it was overstated, to be honest. That's where we are for the past month. That's where I've been. Now, when people are perusing through stuff and trying to tell you, I've been up here doing stuff to them and stuff like that, why don't you ask them a simple question? Why were you over there? And wait to what they say. Just ask that question like, why was you over there in the first place? Why were you over there? See, I can tell you why I heard what I heard. And I could tell some people, I could tell you that I told some people, like, you just need to stay away from there. What did you expect? But why are you on my community wall? Are you looking for something? Oh, yeah, I know what people gonna say. Somebody sent it to me and it triggered you. Okay. It triggered you. That is the purpose. If you're sitting on here with other compelling things going on in your life, like medical conditions, that if you allow yourself to get caught up, can leave you hospitalized, don't do it. Do not do it. If something is detrimental to your health, don't engage in it. Hey, Beachy, how you doing, girl? I'm waiting for your live so I could come up there and talk to you. Anyway, um, that's that's it. That's everything. I want to shout out to those who have been my members for over a year, for sticking out with me for this whole year of membership. I appreciate you. I think that would be the Karens, the Joys, and the Beach. And I think I might have Lisa Marie stuck it through the whole year. I appreciate you for that. Um, and that's it. You sitting over here watching people's community posts. You up all evening doing videos talking about people in the hopes. Member for 13 months. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is what's up. And I appreciate the energy. Today's post, I'm putting up my sage. I'm still cleaning out some of the bad, the negative energy around here. Um, I'm not looking for no friends. I got my bestie. We doing good. I got my cousin. I'll be remiss if I don't touch on the three letters and the hashtag. I'm doing fine with both letters that were between me. And it's going to stay that way. And, you know, what it represents is I care dearly about both relationships, that I'm not going to put either person against the other person, period. It didn't work out for the public viewing. It didn't work out. It's just like I'm the bestie. Yeah, girl. If any of y'all know Karen, there were just those moments. Today she's like, "Don't just listen to me." I was like, "Ooh, can I just get this bag and get out the store?" Yeah, I've been looking for. I've been looking for a new work bag. Seriously, looking hard for a new work bag because um I had a silly incident occur with my old work bag. Just some things just don't work for some people. And that's about it. And then I gotta hear Karen remind me over and over again why I need to make a short. And I be forgetting it. And it's like the other day I was in the store and I was talking to Joy on the phone. And she was like, "Oh, this lady's energy is great." And I was like, "Yeah, I wish I had a camera to record this, but since I'm on the phone, I can't record and be on the phone at the same time." But it was a good experience being in the store, and the lady's energy was seriously worth a YouTube video. Like, and then I was just thinking about how I used to make those kind of videos. Me just going somewhere, doing something. You know, I recently met somebody and I shared with them my YouTube channel, and I was like, "Oh, listen, only stay on this playlist right here." Cuz it was one of the most entertaining playlists that I have where I was actually engaging. So when the person came back to me, they was like, "Oh, so you talk out of your car?" And I was like, "Really? Were all the videos on that thing me in my car?" And that's it. But I think I was my most telling when I was on the road. Uh some things have changed because you guys are predators. So I have to get my bestie has joined the stream. Your mic work? Oh, wait a second. Oops, sorry. Hold up. I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. I had to put security measures in place.
Girl, don't be muting me. I'm the bestie. Can you
How
hear me?
you doing?
What's going on, girl? I heard bestie. I was like, hold on, let me hurry wash these dishes so I can hit that link.
Oh, you was washing dishes?
Yes, ma'am. We got house duties and stuff to do in this world called life or whatever it's called. Whatever, you know what I mean? Girl, I was like, wait a minute. If I'm a best friend, like I gotta hit that link.
Would you
Mm.
stop? I was asleep last night, okay? Don't
Oh,
do
we
that
ain't
to
worried
me.
about that, girl. You just missed out on a few dollars or whatever. You know, it's always next time.
There's always
Stuff like
next
that or
time.
whatever. I
Yeah.
think, as I was washing my dishes, listening to, what you had to say or what have you, I think that just about sums it up. I think you did a great job at summing it up. I mean, I know it's going to be people out there that's going to take what you said and use it for the worst, but that's what I call committing crimes around here that are unforeseen. So, but I think you did good. I mean, even just going back through your community post and you think back, like, if you're a real observer, you got to be saying to yourself, like, wait a minute. So we doing live streams, unteen live streams for community wall posts. Like that just goes to show you. And what I was trying to say in the chat earlier, as I was typing and trying to do something, I messed up what I was trying to say. I was saying that social media made it where people have to watch you because that's how they make their next video. You know what I mean? Like, and so when you think about the celebrities in this world and all these, phenomenons or whatever you want to call them, you have people that are just in the bushes. They won't support you. They won't join your membership. They won't cash app, super chat, whatever, but they will steal your commentary and make it theirs. They just basically take things and put their opinions to it and make content out of it. That's the disadvantage of social media.
When's the last time though you've heard a celebrity tell you that somebody tried to call their their peoples on the phone and stuff? Like it's just the level of how far you would engage. I don't think that people are engaging in that kind of behavior. Like the Taylor Swift article that I had up there, her stalker was just standing outside of her apartment building. I mean, again, the harassment for her may be different than what it is. It's how she
Well,
perceives his
so,
action.
so first of all, you're really not gonna hear that because those people have money that they don't mind, dishing out to make sure you take care of the problem. On social media in this era, right? These people are really less fortunate to even make things like that happen. This is why they do some of the things, and nobody's going to waste their money on things that don't affect them in real time. You see? And so you're not going to hear that from celebrities because they're out making money some type of way. They don't have time to say this about somebody and go watch them because they're on the next money mission, right? And so we have to worry about those things amongst this, what I call a cemetery, you know. So, I didn't understand the whole thing of that. As I'm listening to you also say people are saying cause and effect or trying to justify something. Nothing justifies someone reaching out to whomever in your family. Nothing can justify that unless you've seen them do that to you first. And you just decided, hey, I want to get some get back. But see, the problem with a lot of what's going on around here is that we don't stop people in their tracks and say, hey, I don't think you should say that. I don't think that was, okay to say. Things we don't have people actually being honest with who they call themselves supporting. They just let them say whatever because they may have a problem with you, and to them that's like, aha, that's what you get. But at the end of the day, somebody got to reap those consequences, you know.
Definitely, I understand it. I just think that some of this stuff is the cemeterian way. The cemetery.
It's the YouTube cemetery in way. There just shouldn't be a way like that. If people focused on winning, if people focused on life, they don't have time to focus on someone that they don't like. You see, I've sat around here and I hear what people say about me or what have you. Although I could just instantly respond. I choose not to, because it's like, well, at least you know you got to speak on me just for people to be in tune. You think about what Cat Williams said to some ladies, if you got 20 haters, you need to figure out how to get 40 more by the end of the year. If ain't nobody hating on you, then you ain't doing something right. It's very, one of your words, unfortunate that our culture only know how to hate. It's very unfortunate. Like, we could be sitting here putting our minds together to make things happen, but instead we choose but you know what? As I'm thinking about what I'm about to say, nobody want to see the next person doing better than them anyway. Like, if they was out here before you and you came out, but you more creative, you live a real life, your life is in competition with an unknown. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to understanding the rationale, but the reality is my life, it when I look at competitive edge, right? I look at outdoing myself in the next big best thing, right? Like, I compete with myself for the next thing. I'm not competing with the person next door to me. I'm not in competition with anybody to figure out what it is I need. So when I look at stuff and I set goals for myself, they are surrounding me. I'm a selfish individual. So I'm definitely I'm preoccupied with being the better Mo than I was the day before.
I
You
know
understand?
that's
Or
right.
getting to the next. You
Yeah,
know,
because
you
that's the only person you're in competition with, who you were yesterday. Right?
correct.
I think both of us, and I'm gonna just speak for me and you, we've been doing a great job ignoring some of the buffoonery. We've been doing a great job. We hear it, but we don't have to budge about it. But see, you handle that calling your loved one better than I would have. Because me, I'm looking for law enforcement. I'm looking for somebody that can make some changes around here, that can make something happen on that end. That's just me though. Because I ain't gonna hold you up. I was so thinking like, oh, if that was me, man, listen, I'm starting some type of investigation because that's who I am. I got things to lose. I ain't saying that you don't. It's just how I would rather handle things when it comes to these people on this platform. Because they're willing to go to the lowest of the lows. I'm not.
I
You could call
believe
me.
that
Yeah,
in
you
that
could.
instance, as I said earlier, I believe the victim was the man they called.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that I can help him in pursuit of being made whole again, I definitely would do that. But again, the victim was him. He's not a YouTuber. He wasn't on here. He was called. He was exploited.
Absolutely.
So he's the victim in this situation.
What
Whatever he deems appropriate, I'm there for the
what
I'm there
what
for the
I've
time.
what I've come to realize is that the individual that reached out to your child's father and publicized it has the same traits as someone that did the same thing on my end when they reached out to my sister-in-law, my family on my end, period. You know what I mean? They have the same traits.
What
That's
for?
insane.
Well, so here's the thing, right? She hasn't um what I'm gonna say, Karen, is I haven't been um I haven't been consumed by that woman. There's nothing about her that even makes her for me um fall in the category of a op other than what she's doing at the present time. She's making herself a op. But to for me to say that, oh, this woman was somebody I dislike, she was never on the radar to be liked or disliked by me. Period. I was not infatuated with her in a way that I even had an ongoing relationship with her. I knew her vicariously through other people. And
Mhm.
that was through your experience and other people having spoke on her. But
Right.
for me, I didn't have a personal interaction with her that warrant me to say I like her or I dislike her.
Mhm.
You understand? I didn't have a personal interaction with her. So to have this level of response and assault uh was interesting. But I am not, and I know I know how you feel about things. I'm not going to feed into the energy that she needs in order to grow. These people are like gremlins. You understand? And there has to be some rules. You can't feed them after dark. You can't do like you gotta start putting some rules in there so that they can stop growing. You understand? And you gotta also know the difference that when you feed them, that you are multiplying the disdain. And that's why I use the analogy of being a gremlin. Because if you watch the movie, you know they was all nice and cute and everything, but God darn it, feed them and break any of the rules, and they turned into your worst nightmare. And that's the same thing with some of these people on this platform. You break some rules around them, and they turn into the worst.
You know, when I hear somebody say that they're an advocate for disabled children, I'm going to use that word, and then they come out and they say how disgusting it is for one to speak on a child or children in such a negative, derogatory way, right? And then they turn around and I hear them talking about my children. I'm like, oh man, I got to put out a clip about that because wouldn't that be hypocrisy? Or wouldn't that be a contradiction of what you're talking about? Like, I don't recall speaking on one's kids in such a negative way. So I'm definitely going to work on that video and publish that, because see, I think some of these people need to hear themselves from another stance. Like when they come on these panels and they speak out, I don't think they even hear themselves. But when someone else pointed out to them, it becomes a crime. Well, that's going to be a crime I'm waiting for because I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up, stop the press. Like, hold up, did you say this? But then you turn around and do this. Like, nothing warranted, and I'm using their word, whoever word, nothing warranted. So, because Karen had an allegation about someone used her social, and just because Karen didn't want to believe that people will have their military children or veteran children looking up our socials or looking up anything on us. I just said I didn't want to believe it. I never put a name on anything that I've said. All I said was I know of people that have children. And I'm just like, wait a minute, that warranted you to go over there and speak on my children in such a negative light? My husband has yet to say anything about these people. You know why? Because he's not a YouTuber either. He's a businessman. He makes money for a living, not on YouTube trying to look up the next person that may have said something about him. That's a no-go on this end. And everybody don't have to stoop to the lowest of the lows. I just refuse to do so. At this point, it's like crank my live up just to address you. No. I'll just make a video of you and let you listen to yourself since I know you're in tune, right? Because they can't stop watching. That's the obsession that this era, or AKA cemetery, possess. They can't stop watching you, thinking that everything that you put out is about them. I mean, we're all human. We do have some similarities. Doesn't mean that it's just about you. But again, some of these guys never had the right attention in their life. So, hey.
Well, I think everybody got allegations around here, and sometimes you can let the worst of it get to you.
Well, if you're anything like Tasha K, for instance, she grew her platform on being a let me see, blogger is a video person. So blogger. She decided she wanted to come out here and be a blogger. It's okay to be a blogger, but you have to watch what you say. If I was anything like these people, I would want to go talk about people that can help me grow. When you speak on hashtag KK, Karen's perspective, whatever you want to call me, I can't help you grow. The only thing you're growing is accumulated troll accounts. That's about it. But other than that, my real people in my life don't know you people. So good luck. You know, good luck. But yeah, I just wanted to hop up here for a second and chop it up with you since I'm the bestie or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You
And
my
you know I like to
bestie.
buy my best friends or whatever gifts, gifts, and more gifts.
Oh,
There.
please. All right.
I like to buy you gifts, gifts, and more gifts.
Well,
You know.
one thing I
You
can
know.
say for certain is you haven't bought me any gifts, and more gifts. Um,
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and run your show and we'll chop it up later.
yeah, I'm about to head out of here anyway, but thank you for coming up. I appreciate your perspective
Oh, it's
on
all well. You already know. Bet.
right. Um, at the end of the day, what I'm basically saying is that it's been 8 weeks. Ain't nobody waiting 2 years for somebody to be like, it's been 2 years and I was quiet for 2 years. And that justifies me going out. No, that just says that for 2 years, you may have thought you heard something that had you in your feelings that maybe if you would have addressed it 2 years ago, we wouldn't be with you calling children's fathers and stuff and trying to be a fake investigative reporter and doing all kinds of stuff like that. If you had been woman enough to address this before it got to the 2 year mark, that it made you do some what I would consider to be unnecessary stuff that other people need to run around here and try to justify. I will remind people that I was in a chat room and I was being taunted by them in real time. And I sat there and I continued to do whatever it was I was doing in that room. I was not moved by any of them. And they was coming. They had comments pinned to the screen as people were entering the room. They were trying to explain to people that I was in the room and stuff and getting people to join in on their campaign. And it wasn't successful then. And I remember saying to myself, dag, Monica, you was in the lion's den while everyone was throwing daggers at you and you still came out standing your ground. And I'm proud of you for it. And that's about it. Um, I'm gonna take my little self and go back to doing the things I was gonna do. Oh, today felt like a Sunday, but it's a Monday, and I got a few things I want to do with tea, and I think that's about it. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still early in the day, so I got some things I need to accomplish. I hope that you guys I just hope that this quashes some of the stuff. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna do my best to hold out longer than 8 weeks because this is just indefinite for me. These are not the same type of these are not the same type of this is not the same type of energy. This is a, in the words of Al Sharpton, a nothing burger for me. These are people just trying to incorporate me into something so that there could be an ongoing dispute. And I'm just not ready for it. Mo, you were so beautiful. What more could I say? Anyway, I'm about to bounce. Um I'll catch those of you in the members only arena. I'll see what kind of snippets I'll put out here for the general public out of the members only experience. But no, I'm doing my court cases. I got so many of them. I got some good books to do, and I'm crocheting. Um, Someone has asked me questions about my other channel. It's doing great. It's not in this arena, but nobody's doing live streams either. There's no reason to really be in this live environment as I see it today. Um, that's how I see things today. And I think the more I speak to other people who've been in this live environment, we looking at it and we're seeing the negative spoil of it. And it's just not worth it. In the words of my cousin, you know what to do with my channel. Anyway, this is Mo, and I've got to go.